Welcome to the Prophecy Club. I'm going to give you 4 questions today that you probably will get at least 3 or 4 of the 4 questions I ask wrong. Yeah, kind of a test to find out how well you understand Bible prophecy, how well you understand how it fits into our world today. Okay, first of all, the questions. Why do Democrats want open immigration, open borders? Repeating, why do Democrats want open immigration, open borders? Question number 2. Why do Democrats fight so hard to keep taxes high on the general population in general, but specifically to keep the taxes high on wealthy Americans? Let me repeat it. Why do the Democrats fight so hard to keep taxes high, specifically on the wealthy Americans? Question 3. Why do Democrats want single-payer health care, like in Obamacare, meaning all health care comes from the hands of the government? Why do they want that? Repeating, why do Democrats want single-payer health care, meaning all health care comes from the government? Final question. Why is the media pushing the idea to kneel at sports games during the national anthem? Why is the media pushing the whole idea for people to kneel rather than stand during the national anthem at sports games? Why are they doing that? And I'm even going to ask another 5th question. I'll probably get to this one on the radio program. Why does the destroy Trump evil media, why is it that the Trump can do nothing good and everything he does bad in their eyes? Why does Trump or why does the evil destroy Trump media find nothing good about him and everything bad? Okay, now let's go to the answer for the first one. And that's actually 5 questions. I'm going to say that you'll probably get, I'll be generous. I'm going to say at least 3 of the 5 most people can't answer. First question. Why do Democrats want open immigration or open borders? Why do they want, and you see people with signs out protesting, we love our Muslim neighbors, let everyone in, there's no such thing as an illegal alien, there's no aliens. Okay. Why do people want open immigration? The Democrats say, well, we think that just anybody, we want to be really soft-hearted and open-hearted, we just want anyone, any place to be able to come in. What's the real answer? You ready? Okay, here's the real answer. They want to destroy this nation. What? What do you mean? How can open borders destroy this nation? Now, I've talked about this on the radio, so this may be one of them that if you've heard it on the radio, you'll be able to get. But the first question is there, how will open borders destroy the nation? Why do they want to destroy America? Well, the reason they want to destroy America is they want a world government. They understand that the wall that is keeping the globalists from having what they want, having a world government, so they can set their Antichrist, their leader, up on top of the throne. The reason they want that is for world government, to bring in the Antichrist. Now, most immigrants, here's the answer why they want the open borders. Most immigrants are not Christian, at least these days. Now, this means that this reduces the percentage of the population that is Christian. When it comes to voting time, more of the globalist agenda can then be implemented. Also, it means more gods come in, more sin comes into the nation. Because as you read in the Bible, and if you want to read in history, how nations are destroyed, especially Israel, the examples in the Bible, how Israel was destroyed many, many times. It's not that Satan destroyed them, because God would protect them. What Satan does is get the nation to begin to turn away from God's laws, begin to sin. And then when they finally fall far enough, then God destroys them. See, Satan's been doing this for almost 6,000 years now. He's gotten pretty good at it. And he understands he can't come against America directly. what he's got to do is to make America fall away from God's laws from the inside. Then when we fall far enough, then God destroys us. Now, it used to be, for example, in the days of Dmitri when he came over here, and many, many people, I mean for centuries now, it has been that America has been a safe haven for persecuted Christians around the world. And in days gone past, true Christians were what was brought into America. This was the place where Christians would come. This was known as a haven for Christians. The problem is for the last many years, globalists have brought in anything but Christians. It was actually exposed that over 90% of the immigrants brought in under the last 8 years under Obama were anything but Christian, with special preferences to bring in Muslims. They actually helped the Muslims come in. They actually set up organizations. They funded those organizations. They funded the Muslims to come in, and then they dumped them on our backs. They brought in people from around the world. It was basically anything but Christian. So the answer is, why do Democrats want open immigration, open borders? You have to understand, Democrats are only a name. Okay, so what's the real heart of the typical Democrat? The typical Democrat is not Christian. They are anti-Christian. They are communist. They want to see America fall. And that's the reason there's so many people with so much anger out there. Why? Psalm 23 says, and he leadeth me into the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. He leadeth me into the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. That means that when we choose Jesus, Jesus comes into our heart and he changes our attitudes and our skills, our abilities, our open doors, our opportunities. But he changes our attitudes so that we know right from wrong, and hopefully we choose right rather than wrong. He leads us into the paths of righteousness, which is another reason why they want open borders. You see, if they can't get the Christians to fall away at a percentage high enough to where they have their globalist agenda, their world government, their Antichrist at the head of it fast enough, they understand that what they have to do is bring in people of other gods, have other sins, and also diseases, and they bring them in so that it waters down the percentage of Christians, and that helps more sin come in. Then you get things like the blacks kneeling at the NFL games, and there's many, many other problems that this stirs up when the spirit of rebellion comes into a nation. So, the answer is, why do Democrats want open immigration, open borders? Because they want a world government. They understand that they directly can't overcome America. They have to cause America to fall away to the point to where God destroys this nation. So, the answer is because they want to destroy America, because they want a world government, because they want the Antichrist leading it. Now let's go to the second question. Why do Democrats fight so hard to keep our taxes high in general, but especially to keep the taxes high on wealthy Americans? Why do Democrats want high taxes on wealthy Americans? Okay, here's a hint. The evil international bankers, you have to understand, when you say Democrats, the people behind the Democrats, I'm talking about Democrat leadership, are international bankers, and for the most part, they are evil people, and they are people that many of them worship Lucifer by name. They understand what the light is, and they are evil people. So when we say Democrats, we say international bankers, and we talk about international evil. So here's the hint. The evil international bankers tell the Democrats what to push for. Here's the answer. Why do the Democrats not want to reduce the percentage of taxes that wealthy Americans pay? The answer is because Democrats want to keep the wealth out of the hands of wealthy Americans so they don't become wealthy. That way they don't have to fight people like Donald Trump when they get enough money to rise up against them and to fight them. They want to be the only ones on the block that have any money, you see. So when they say, oh, well, we don't want to reduce the taxes on wealthy Americans, my attitude is, no, I think it needs to be on a flat sliding scale. It ought to be equal for everybody. And there should be no one makes too little to contribute. And it should be that the person that makes a lot does not contribute less. In other words, the same percentage at all. That's the way I feel about it. Now, any other way is basically a form of communism. Communism is we take from the rich, we give to the poor. That means no one has any incentive to work, and the whole system falls apart. And that's what they want. They want the world to fall apart. Again, that's what's written on the front of Morals and Dogma. Ordo ab chaos, a Latin phrase meaning order out of chaos. What order? A new world order. Out of what chaos? A chaos that they create. They want to destroy the old world order based upon the Bible to bring in a new world order with Antichrist on the throne. Okay, third question. Why do the Democrats want single-payer health care? Meaning all health care, like Obamacare, comes from the hands of the government. Why do Democrats want to control health care? Okay, here's the hint, and I sort of already told you. They want to have the control, right? And I've asked people this. Oh, because they want control. Okay, yes. Here's a bigger question, though. Why do they want control? They want money. They want money. No. The international bankers have their own printing press. These days, they don't even have to print the money. They just enter zeros into their Federal Reserve computer, and the money appears out of thin air. It's plucked from thin air. So, they're not after money. They do want the control. But why, brothers and sisters? Why do they want the control? Why do they want it so you have to come to their hand in order to get health care, in order to get hospitalization, in order to get surgeries, in order to get... We'll be right back after this message. Well, the truth is almost no people on earth agree on all points of the Bible. But if you listen to the Prophecy Club, the Spirit of Prophecy Church might be just right for you. Our two most controversial beliefs are speaking in tongues and post-trib. But you might have to attend a long time to see anybody speaking in tongues, and we don't really make post-trib a big deal. But our two only sticking points are Jesus is Lord and the King James Bible. So if you're not attending a church, or if you're maybe looking for a new or a different church home, especially if you like to listen to the Prophecy Club, Spirit of Prophecy Church might be a fit. Most of our congregation found us via Prophecy Club, and many actually drive long distances to attend. We suggest you visit at least 5 times before making your decision. And if you walk in Sunday morning about 10:15, you walk into coffee and donuts. You're free to leave anytime, no questions asked. So, if you listen to Prophecy Club, give us a try. Spirit of Prophecy Church, 2540 K Avenue in Plano. That's on the corner of Park and K, like the margarine, right behind the Whataburger. Spirit of Prophecy Church, 2540 K Avenue, Plano, Sunday, 10:15. Ask for Stan. And now, back to the program. In order to get surgeries, in order to get your prescription, why is it they want to be the middleman between you and your health care? Here's the answer. They want to bring the entire world, not just America. Now, America is the biggest target, you understand. If they can get America, they can probably get the rest of the world. And by the way, most of the rest of the world already has single-payer health care, okay? And they don't corrupt it so much because they're trying to make single-payer health care appear to be working in other countries. But understand that they are still standing between you and your health care, and that's what they want. They want the control. Now, why do they want the control? Here's the answer. They want the evil international bankers that worship Satan by name want to bring all people on the globe down to one basic decision. Do you know what it is? Either you take the mark and you join their system, or you don't get access to money, the internet, food, grocery stores, water, gasoline, access to freeways. You are not able to vote. You cannot buy or sell anything. and you don't get any health care. You don't get prescriptions. You don't see a doctor. You don't get into a hospital. You probably can't even take your dog to the clinic. Okay? Again, they want the control, but it's not for money. It's all about souls, my brothers and sisters. The whole game is all about souls. Now let's go to the next question. Why is the media pushing the idea to kneel at sports games during the national anthem? Oh, Stan, they're not pushing. Oh, well, go ahead. I mean, it's hard for me to turn over and watch the Communist News Network, CNN, or some of the other non-Fox News. And by the way, Fox News doesn't have it all correct either. Okay, they are called Fox News, and Fox is I think the word is an acronym for 666. We've talked about that other times, so I'll move on. But anyway, so the question is, why is the media pushing the idea to get people to kneel at sports games during the national anthem, to kneel rather than to stand and put their hand over their heart? Got the answer? Question is, why is much of the evil media actually they bring people on trying to say, oh, well, we think this is a good thing. They should have the right to do this. They should be able to express themselves. Okay, why is it that they want people to not stand, to show reverence, to not put their hand over their heart when the national anthem is played? Now, here's a little hint. You got to ask yourself, is it really a black issue? Is it really protesting against the police shooting the blacks? Is it really? Is it really a race issue? Yes, I agree. The media certainly is pushing it that direction. They certainly are trying to make it a black and white issue. Why? Why are they pushing it? The answer is the same. They want a world government. They want to take America down so that they can bring their world government up, because everyone on the globe knows that you're not going to get a world government until you take out America. America, and that's the reason Revelation says, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. Meaning that when America does fall at the judgment seat, God is going to hold America responsible for the blood of the martyrs and the blood of and the persecution of all of the saints on the earth. Meaning, we're the guy that's supposed to be on the wall. We're the guy that has the bazooka that's supposed to be stopping these international bankers, and we don't do it. Instead, we are more interested in our cell phone, more interested in watching TV, going to a sports game, entertaining ourselves. We don't think it's necessary to read our Bible, go to church, pray, fast. We don't think it's necessary to come out of the world anymore. We are part of the world, and that's what the world says. Well, we can't tell the difference between a Christian and a sinner. I agree. Not supposed to be that way, but that's the way it is. Okay, so back to our question. So why is the media pushing people to not stand during the national anthem? Pushing them not to put their hand over their heart? Because they want a world government. If they can get people fighting each other inside our nation, if they can get people to where they are not willing to stand up for our nation, not willing to fight, not willing to pray and fast for our nation, if they can get people arguing and fussing and fighting and burning flags and running over each other with cars, if they can get them to start pulling down statues of what used to be heroes in our nation, if they can do that, you see, they start an internal revolution. Now, why do they want to start an internal revolution? That way, as a nation, we are not unified. We are, again, like the old saying when I was a kid, united we stand, divided we fall. United we stand, divided we fall. And yet today, we are divided, and so thus we fall. We are not a united nation anymore. We are not the United States of America anymore. We are the divided States of America. And I believe that spiritually, the internal revolution probably has started. While I can't say it officially has started yet, not until we have some prophet that hears from God someplace, and ideally two of them, that verify. I mean, something like, for example, if Michael Boldea, grandson of Dimitri Duduman, were to get an angel visit, and the angel says, yes, the internal revolution has started, and yes, it started here, and this was the incident on this and such year, month, and day, okay, then we know for certain. But at this point, at least it appears that the internal revolution has started. Now let's go to the final question. Why does the evil destroy Trump media find nothing good and everything bad about Trump? Why does the evil destroy Trump media find nothing good about him and everything bad? Oh, I know, no. You're probably saying, oh, it's the same answer. It's world government. It's world government. Yep, but let's get down a little bit more specific. In the mind, here's the answer. In the mind of Democrats and communists, Trump represents Christians in their mind. In the mind of Democrats and communists, Trump is a Christian. Trump represents Christians. He represents the last Christian nation. So consequently, while he is our, Christians, our last best chance to set our house in order, he is our last chance to save this nation from falling apart, last chance to stop the internal revolution, last chance to stop from being conquered by the Russian Spanish-speaking alliance of nations, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and two other countries. He's our last chance to keep, here, please hear me, Christian persecution and millions of martyrs from happening. Remember, Jeremiah 51, verse 9 says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let every man returning to his own country. What does that mean? It means that there's going to come a time when it gets so bad, God is going to speak to the hearts of many people across the land and tell them to get out of Dodge, to leave our wonderful Christian nation. Now, here's the problem. Back, 150, 200, 300 years ago, many of our forefathers, when they left, England and France and Germany and most of the nations in Europe at the Spirit of God, they came to, quote, the New World. And they started a new life. And I believe, for the most part, now not all of them, but for the most part, it was the Spirit of God bringing people who he knew their names were written in the book of life, and he was bringing them to a new nation, a new world, to start a new country for the furtherance of the Christian faith, unquote, and that is in the Mayflower Compact, signed November the 11th of 1620. That was his purpose. So many of them were persecuted. Many of them, they left that nation because of their Christian faith, seeking, matter of fact, we talk about freedom in America. Well, you know, we're a free nation. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be a nation free to worship as you please, not freedom to worship or not. Let me say it again. Our forefathers came over here for the opportunity to worship as they pleased, to worship God how they wanted, not whether they were going to worship God or not. Take, for example, the Church of England, the English people. The Church of England was telling them, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, we don't speak in tongues. And it was telling everybody what to believe. This is what we believe, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and this is the way you got to do it. Well, the forefathers, look, they read the King James Bible and they said, that's not what my Bible says. And the more the Bible was printed, the more the Bible was handed around, the more they said, Church of England, that's not right. I'm not going to go along with that. So they said, let's go to a new world. Let's go across the pond, you see, over to America. That way, there's basically no one that's going to tell us how to worship. And that's when we say freedom. It's not supposed to be freedom so you can kneel in an NFL game. It's supposed to be freedom so that you can worship the way you want. You can go to a church that speaks in tongues or not. You can go to a church that is King James or NIV. Or you can go to a church that believes that people come back to life, or you can go to a church that doesn't believe, or you can go to a homosexual church, or you can go to a real church. I mean, in other words, in America, you have the choice to worship or not to worship, but the choice was never really supposed to be whether you will worship or not worship. It was supposed to be worship the way you want to. But in America, again, we walked away from it. We walked away from so many of our values, our foundations in our nation today. To summarize, why do Democrats want open immigration, open borders? To destroy the nation. Why do Democrats fight so hard to keep the taxes high on wealthy Americans so no one becomes wealthy, so that they're the only ones that have any money? Why do Democrats want single-payer health care? So that they can stand between you and your doctor, you and your prescriptions, you and your hospital, you and your health care. Why is the media pushing the idea to kneel at sports games? Don't dare stand during the national anthem. Don't put your hand over your heart, because they want to bring division. They want to bring an internal revolution. Finally, why does the evil, destroy Trump media find nothing good and everything bad about Trump? Because in their mind, in the minds of the Democrats and the communists, Trump represents Jesus, Christians, the Bible, Christianity, and the wall to keep them away from their world government. They know that if they're going to have world government, they have to tear America down. And the way to do that is through Donald Trump. They have to get rid of Donald Trump, which is why, if you'll join our Fast Track team, and I never ask for donations, and I never send product offers to my wonderful fasting and prayer team I call Fast Track. Okay, if you'll join Fast Track by going to prophecyclub.com, once a week I send out the kind of fast and the prayer that we're all praying. Now, right now, I just checked, we have 714 people on the Fast Track team. So your prayers will be more powerful. They will reach into heaven, with much more force, stand a higher possibility of being answered when you pray and fast the same prayer, the same fast, the same day with some 700 other people. You can quit anytime you want to. It's only about prayer and fasting. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your prayers. And do remember, Prophecy Club, we do need your financial gifts, okay? We do need them. It does cost to keep the ministry going. God bless you.
The Prophecy Club is on the tip of God's spear. Join the battle and prayerfully consider supporting the Prophecy Club with your gifts of support. We would not be here without your prayers and generous financial support.
Now from the Prophecy Club, some exciting opportunities for you. I'm Stan Johnson, and I'm the next speaker at the Prophecy Club. I memorized the book of Revelation, and in the process, God gave me 12 awesome revelations. Jesus is not the primary message of Revelation. What is? My biggest revelation, what is the morning star? Who are the two witnesses? The final answer to the rapture question. Definitive proof that America is in Revelation. And what is America's future? 7 signs to spot the Antichrist early. When does the New Jerusalem arrive? Are there 1 or 2 judgments? The surprising final plague on earth. October 14th and 15th, Saturday evening, 7 p.m., Sunday morning, 9 a.m., at the Prophecy Club, 2540 K Avenue in Plano. That's October 14 and 15, Saturday evening, 7 p.m., Sunday morning, 9 a.m., Spirit of Prophecy Church, corner of Park and K in Plano. The meeting is free, but we do ask you to go to prophecyclub.com to reserve your place. See you there! Order your copy of the DVD at prophecyclub.com. The number 1 killer in most emergency events, surprisingly, is drinking contaminated water. Being able to scoop water out of the puddle and filter it may save your life. I drink all of my water filtered through a Crown Berkey. Now, it's a gravity filter filtering down to virus levels. Contaminated water in the top gives you drinking water out the bottom. It's what the missionaries use. There are 7 Berkey options from 1 to 8 filters. Order them at prophecyclub.com. Be sure and order 2 to 4 extra black filters as backup. That's prophecyclub.com or 785-266-1112. Berkey water filters.